There for Care is brought to you by CareScout with the goal of sharing real-life conversations about aging care. Views expressed on this program are the speaker's own. We do not provide medical, legal, tax, financial, or other professional advice. Always talk to your own professional advisors for advice tailored to your needs.
Welcome to There for Care by CareScout, a podcast all about navigating aging care, whether for yourself or a loved one. My name is Katy Boyles, and today our guest is Carrie Alberts. She is a dementia care educator and a caregiver advocate, and she runs the online platform Dementia Darling. Today we're going to hear all about Carrie's work, what led her to the dementia care space, and some of her favorite technology for family caregivers of people with dementia. Carrie, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited for our conversation.
Yes. So to kick it off, your journey into this space started with a personal story from your grandmother. Would you be okay with sharing some of that for us?
Absolutely. I think like many people in this space, we have a personal connection, and mine started when I was 6 years old. So I didn't know it at the time, that's for sure. But now I can look back and see how it's shaped me. But my grandmother was, if you will, catapulted into her dementia journey overnight. And my dad became her family caregiver, and from afar. So we were in different states, and for the next 7 years, he was in that journey with her. And I just look back and always wondered, what happened to grandma, and so that always kind of stuck with me throughout my life after she passed when I was 13, and what my dad and my mom did for her, and all the work that they did to care for her and make sure her life was the best that it could be. So that's where that seed was planted, if you will. And that led me kind of on a path to finding out what happened to my grandma. And so it all started with my grandma, Mary Ann.
And so that path took you even to studying gerontology, correct?
Yes. I was so lucky to go to the University of Nevada, Reno, and they have a gerontology program. At the time, it was a minor program and a certificate, but you couldn't really do much more than that. And they were so gracious to let me focus my bachelor's and master's completely in gerontology, and then more so into dementia care for families. So I was able to get really specific with my work. And it's amazing because my alma mater is now a very big voice and support for the dementia community worldwide. And so it's an honor to have gotten my education there.
What is your favorite part about the work that you do?
Oh my gosh. Introducing people that have felt so alone to community and life and possibility. The goal of my work is to always show people that there's another way to do dementia care, especially when we're in the trenches and we feel there's no other way, and it feels very helpless or hopeless. And so when I can show people other ways and help people to change their mindsets, that's the best part of my job.
And can you talk a little bit about what you do in this space for work? So I know there's Dementia Darling, you have a huge community.
Yeah. Yes. So throughout my work, because I started when I was getting my degree as a caregiver, and worked my way up through senior care, memory care settings, from intergenerational adult daycare to memory care, assisted living, and back to adult daycare, actually. So through that experience, I kept noticing that caregivers were so alone and just feeling so isolated and not being thanked or supported. And so that's what led me to Dementia Darling on social media, and to be the space to say, this is really hard and I'm cheering for you. So every day for the last 6.5, almost 7 years, I've posted on social media to share and support. And that is my main focus, is sharing free resources for family caregivers online, free education for them to turn to. So that's my main gig, and speaking at events and educating both professionals and families and helping them bridge those gaps, specifically in like senior care communities. We really need to bridge those gaps and open up communication between families and professionals. So I do a lot of training. I teach as a National Institute of Dementia Education board certified educator as well. So I certify people from families and advocates to professionals. And then I do a lot of work collaborating online with people to share all the amazing resources and supports, because there are a lot, but we can't find the people that need them. It's very hard to find the people in the trenches because they're in the trenches. And so it's hard to find them and get them the support that they need. So that's really what I'm trying to do in all different ways.
Well, it sounds like you are covering a lot of the different ways to find these people. And you mentioned about people feeling hopeless in what they're in.
Yes.
Can you share about the tragedy narrative and how you can help someone who is caring for a loved one going through this?
Unfortunately, society has, made it this whole thing that dementia is death and it's over. And, it's, if you get a dementia diagnosis, pack your bags, it's over, no more life to be had. When people can live very full lives when given the right supports and education and community. And, we can live with dementia for 20 plus years sometimes. And so to tell people this is the tragedy narrative, to tell people and to perpetuate this overall view that, dementia means your life is over is this tragedy narrative we have in our society. And that's why families run away, right? That's why we become so isolated when a dementia diagnosis comes along, because family and friends, we've been taught, oh, like this is horrible and I don't want to see this person change and everything's horrible now because dementia entered the chat. And of course, it's not anything we want to have happen in our lives, but there is still joy. Dementia does not take away the opportunity for joy and for connection and for focusing on what is still there, not what has been lost. And that's fighting the tragedy narrative. That is pushing back, because that tragedy narrative just focuses on the disease, the loss, the decline, and not the person, and not this life that is still there to live. And there's still so much love to give. Their heart is not changing, their brain is changing, but that doesn't mean life is over. And so I really want to push back on those views that, dementia takes away everything and there's no hope for joy. Yes, days are tough. Yes, this is rough and not fun. I never want it to be this toxic positivity of, oh, dementia darlings telling me dementia is a great time. No, it's not, but we can find the moments of joy and connection, and they are there, but we just have to look for them, and they're going to look different. But that's how it is in life. Things change, joy changes, and it's still there with dementia. So that's my little soapbox moment I have all the time. So don't get me started.
And it's such a good message for people who are in those trenches going through it to remember this is still my loved one, and to have someone else telling them to look for those moments. And can you share, there's a lot of innovation happening in this area of some things that are helpful for those people.
Yes, there are so many innovations happening. So I am part of the AARP Age Tech Collaborative. So they literally are on the forefront of everything age tech. And not many people even know that's a thing, but age tech is anything that is innovation, technology to help us age better, to make our aging experience a little bit easier. A lot of health tech, a lot of, things to just make life a little bit smoother. A lot of the things in the smart homes, making it easier to live in the home longer. Safety products, things like that, which is going to really help us stay out of community care as long as possible to save money, which is really big. But age tech is a huge, huge market that is exciting to watch how it's coming, how it's evolving, because specifically so many people in the dementia care world that have experienced this and have been in the trenches are building for dementia caregivers. And that's what's so cool, is these companies are built by people that understand. And we really get innovation out of struggle, right? We get innovation from those hardships. And that is what's happening, is these incredible innovators that have been there and taking care of people living with dementia are creating apps that understand, that can be there for you at 2 a.m. and answer questions. And you can go through, the history of your loved one and see what's happening and keep track of things, and, have communication with their doctors, with family members. There's just incredible innovation in apps happening for communication and connection that's specific to caregivers. There's also so much engagement education, right? Engagement technology, because we need to have dignified and appropriate engagement opportunities for people living with dementia. For example, sometimes TV can get to a point where it's really triggering and people can't watch TV without it feeling too real. Maybe, CSI, it feels like it's real deal now. So we don't really want to do that to our person. It's a little bit stressful. We go to an innovation from a person who lived it herself with her husband living with FTD dementia. Was she created Zinnia TV, which is like, if you will, Netflix for dementia care. And it is, the most beautiful content, no plot lines to follow, not stressful. There's actual support for the caregivers on there as well. It's beautiful and it's affordable. And those are the things that are exciting, because people living with dementia and their caregivers deserve these accessible and affordable innovations that actually help. I mean, Zinnia TV gives respite to the caregivers when they need to go and put the laundry in or do dinner. Their loved one can actually interact and be doing something that's appropriate and dignified, and something they don't have to worry about a crazy YouTube commercial coming out of nowhere and scaring everyone. But that's one that I'm really excited about. But there's so many more with safety and even incontinence technology. I mean, it is mind blowing, and it's going to help us, again, age in place longer, save money, and hopefully get more care in the homes utilizing certain technologies.
And if somebody didn't know where to start for finding what new technologies are out there, do you have any recommendations for where they can even start to look?
It's so hard because there's a lot of noise. It's because there's a lot, right? And especially with the AI everywhere, that's hard, because you're like, okay, there's, so many companies where it's like their name AI. And so there's a lot that gets very overwhelming. So I want to just say you're not alone in that. I get overwhelmed. I would say check out the AARP Age Tech Collaborative site, because you can see every single company, and I recommend them all because they go through a rigorous process with AARP to be a part of this ecosystem. And they have a search, so you can put in dementia caregiving, and Zinnia will come up, and I come up, and different companies. So you can look starting there, kind of what innovations are out there, and follow me. I share them all the time on across my social media accounts. And then I'm trying to think if there's any other specific page that shares them, but it really is just the Age Tech Collaborative and myself. I feel like that shares the dementia caregiving specifics as much as possible. But you can always reach out to me. I'll make sure my info is part of this podcast episode, and reach out if you're looking like, I need a specific safety item. Please reach out and I will do my best to connect you and find it. And also on my Amazon storefront, I try to collect a lot there that are available on Amazon.
And we'll be sure to link everything that you mentioned in your account so people can follow you. Speaking of social media, can you talk about your platform and how you got started there?
Yes. So I think I got that sweet spot. I got to say, I started in October 2019, right before everything, right before COVID, right before everyone was on their phones alone going, what am I doing? Where am I looking for support? And so I started then, and just, sharing and cheerleading, if you will, is what I do. And then when COVID hit, I feel like it really started to ramp up more and more, and people started to find me. There were only about 2 educators at the time, with myself included, dementia care blazers, Dr. Natalie Edmonds, she's brilliant, you guys. And she was the only other one I knew at the time. And there was a few caregivers, and it's grown so much. This community is amazing. And it's just been pretty steady. I'm no one that's gone viral. I'm not someone who crazily grew overnight. I have this micro influencing, if you will. That's what they say. But it's such a beautiful group of family caregivers and professionals that really care. And it's grown to, across all my social medias, over around 85,000, I think. And it's such a gift to be able to be there for people in their hardships. I get all the time, the DMs that I get all the time that mean the most to me are, when I needed to remind myself there's joy, I come to your page. When I need a little light, I come to your page. When I need realness, I come to your page. When I am alone 2 a.m, crying, I come to your page so I know I'm not alone. And that is like hard to even get through my brain that I can do that for people through social media. It's such a gift. Social media can be both good and bad. We know this. And this has been such a beautiful, beautiful addition to my life and the community that it's built and what it's created for me to do this full time. That's how important it has been for people that I do this full time as Dementia Darling. And I've literally been brought out to events just to hug caregivers that have seen me online and want to hug me in person. I mean, it's mind blowing, but it shows the need. It shows the need that people have to go after getting a diagnosis. And you know how we say the diagnosis and adios, they say, good luck. We can't do anything for you. And they have to come to social media and find a pink-haired girl to say, this sucks, but you're going to be okay and you're going to get through it. And there's community. But it just blows my mind that there's not more, that there's not a more overall understanding that not every, neurologist, how do they not have something to tell people? My mom, now she has her neurologist literally give out my card when he gives out a dementia diagnosis. I'm like, why don't we get him to learn too? But that's a whole other thing. But social media is powerful when you're following people that you can trust and what they're sharing, and you can see the authenticity and the beauty of the dementia community, both professionals and family caregivers that are sharing their story. It's growing every day. It is just mind blowing to see, and it's beautiful. And I also want to note something that's different for being on social media in this space is that you have to understand so many people will come and go because we don't follow people all the time for the rest of our time when we just need them for a season in our life, right? And the messages I get where it's, I'm going to unfollow you now. And it's not because I don't want to follow you, but it's because I can't anymore. Like my heart can't do that. My journey has ended with that. But I want to thank you, So understanding, the influx of new people every day and out and in is just, it's such a different kind of community online that, I just take very seriously, and it's just my heart. They're all just so amazing.
And what a beautiful thing that you get to be there for so many people when they are coming into this. So for some of our listeners, if they have just gotten a diagnosis for a family member, what are some of the things that you want to tell them right now?
I want you first to take a breath because, man, is this a lot. It's a lot. Especially when you've been like kind of wondering for a little bit and then finally you get the diagnosis and it's like, okay, it's about to go down. Like it's time. I want you to take a breath and I want you to know that dementia is progressive and it's not going to just happen all overnight. So you can take a breath. You can sit and like let yourself feel because there's some time to be had, but we need to feel your feelings. We don't want to live in that, horrible place, but you're allowed and you're valid if you are feeling all the feelings. It is so valid. Please don't feel guilty. If you're resentful, if you're upset about what's to come, do not make yourself feel badly. Let yourself feel the feels. You are valid. I want you, though, once you can kind of get into a place where you can start going forward, I want you to start building your community now. Do not wait until chaos hits. Do not wait until crisis. Do not wait until later. Try to start finding community. It's not easy. It's usually not the people you think who are going to show up that show up. So start expanding what your community may look like going forward. Start following people online, seeing what their world is. Start commenting on people. Reach out to people you do follow and shoot your shot and say, I want to be your friend. I want to be able to text you. Like truly, people want this connection. People want to help each other. Speak up in your life as well, because you will be shocked at how many people are in the same position as you that are already in your life. You might already have people you are at work with every day dealing with the same thing, and you could be helping each other. So I just want you to don't be scared to speak up about the dementia experience you're walking into, because that's what perpetuates that tragedy narrative. That's what keeps people away. We need to speak up about it. We need to ask for help and be real about it. So I know that was a lot. I will stop there, but give yourself time. It's a lot all at once. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Take it a little bit at a time because again, it's a progressive disease and there's a lot. But you have a moment. So take a breath, find your community, and know you're not alone. And come follow me so I can hug you through social media every day.
And that is such a good message to not wait until you're in that crisis with too much going on to start gathering the people around you. So we will definitely be tagging everything in here. You will be able to find Carrie's information so you can follow her if you're just going through this right now. And Carrie, I want to thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having these conversations. And for anyone listening, thank you for doing the part of listening to these things. Not a lot of people show up. Not a lot of people do the extra things of listening of how they can be better. So thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for doing all the things. And please care for yourself as well.
And thank you for joining us for There for Care. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.